Joining us live now is David Weinstein. He's a former assistant U.S. attorney here in Miami, currently with the Hinshaw law firm. And David, we're looking at new legal ground here. How unusual is this?
Very unusual. We're certainly looking at an interesting interpretation of the laws that are out there in a way that no one's really done before, certainly not here in South Florida.
So the criminal complaint, David, lists the extensive active shooter training that Peterson has, said that he had a duty to do something. What is the legal burden here, and is a life sentence essentially an appropriate punishment for inaction?
I think we have to separate the sentence from what he did or should have done or didn't do. It's 15 years per count, and so we reached that life sentence because it's 105 years for all 7 of the students who were killed. In terms of if that's appropriate punishment for what he did or didn't do, it's a case really of first impression. You have to contrast it with the civil cases that are filed for wrongful death, where a law enforcement officer is given a certain cloak of sovereign immunity for acting like they should act, given their training and their experience. So to get that protection, you have to understand that you need to do something when action is required.
All right, so they're seeking to punish him for his inaction, but there's also the question of his actions, because he did tell the fire rescue or the responders to stay away from the 1200 building. Is that part of their case, in your opinion?
Well, what, as David Sutter pointed out, they're going after is his actions once he heard all those shots up on the 3rd floor. So it's not so much what happened at the initial part of it. And yes, he was warning other people not to come close to it. They could find themselves in a life-threatening situation. I think this is going to be a case without question where he's going to have to testify, because the jury is going to want to hear, why did you make the decision? Why did you decide not to go in? And they're going to want to hear him say, I didn't do it to save my own life. I did it to protect others and to make sure nobody else got hurt.
How strong do you think this case against him is? And clearly there was so much public pressure to take this type of action against him. We heard the parents speaking just now. How much do you think that played into it as well?
The state attorney in Broward has always listened to his constituents and to the victims in cases, and he heard what they had to say. And this has been an investigation that's been going on for over 2 years now, and they shoehorned this charge into one involving the neglect of a child. All the victims who were in the felony charge are under the age of 17. Different situation for the victims who were over 18, the 3 people listed in the culpable negligence charge, which is just a misdemeanor. So I think it's one where he listened, he felt that there needed to be some additional repercussions for this inaction and what occurred, but it's going to send a difficult message to law enforcement about what they do and what they don't do.
It's almost precedent setting if they get a conviction here, right?
Absolutely.
All right. David Weinstein, thank you very much
for
joining us. And stay with CBS 4 News for much more on this breaking news story. We'll have all the new developments on CBS 4 News at 11. Of course, you can find more on our website, cbsmiami.com.